Hello, thank you for joining me today about an important concept, something which I love to speak about, something which is very dear to my heart, something that I've learned, something that I've seen, something that I read about, and something which is called reframing. Reframing is a conscious experience in life. And what does that mean? Well, here's what it means. Reframing doesn't have to do with what happened, but what you thought of what happened. If you take a picture and you were to change the frame around it, would it change the picture? Well, it would change the look of the picture. Reframing it means putting it into a different perspective, a different box, a different look, and it would have a different effect. So the same thing here. Reframing doesn't have to do with what happened, with the things of the past, but what you thought about what happened. So if you think of something and experience, it's what you thought about what happened that made that difference. These thoughts are really how you interpret what happened about what happened and what you choose to focus on. Some people may see something positive. Some people may see something negative. It's quite interesting how the way you interpret things is the way you saw them, not necessarily the way that it happened or the way it is. It's just what you have. There's a concept called narrative therapy and how to retell a story in a different way, how things are to be done, and how these things were. It's interesting. In the Bible, there's a story of Joseph who was sold by his brothers. And when they found him, he said, "Wow, it's amazing, guys. What happened to me was nothing more than a blessing." Can you imagine that? Sold by his brothers, ended up in another place, but he became quite successful. And he did what he was supposed to do as far as he was concerned. And he saw this as an opportunity to grow, to share his wisdom. How often do we do that? You could say, "I will choose how to frame my life." You could say that. You could do that. It's up to you. You choose how to put your life in context of what you want, the way you see it. In that story, he didn't become a victim. He took control of his life, and he did what he thought was best. You know, it's an interesting concept. It says that before a body is born, before a soul comes down to earth, there's a full mission that's given to that soul. And it says in the scriptures, interestingly enough, that this person is given full consent to say, "Yes, I'll do it," or "No, I won't." Now you may say, "I don't believe in that." That's okay. But think about that for a second. That soul comes down to heaven, which is you, which is me, which is all of us. We've come down with a certain mission, with a certain focus of things of what we had to do. Now, two reasons for that. Things don't just happen to you. You have skills, all kinds of skills and potentials. Your mission in this world is to bring more light into the space that you create. And that's a huge understanding of what your life is all about. It's the difference between selling and understanding what a mission is. When you sell, for instance, you don't consult about the object about the sale. You're taking an object and you're selling it. And you say, "I'm just going to sell it." So you take that object, you sell it. A mission, however, first, we must make sure that that person can successfully accomplish the mission. And second, we got to get a consent. So in a sale, you take that object, you sell it, and you do what you want with it. But if someone has a mission, if a person has a certain mission in life, they have to be asked and they have to be consenting. Now, basically, a person goes on a mission, which is the way we're sent here in the world, and we become ambassadors. You become divine, invincible. Just like the handle and the axe. The handle will assist the iron. If you think of the handle itself and the axe at the end. The handle, you'll take it and you'll cut whatever you need. The iron will be assisted by the handle. But if you want to, and if you care, nobody will cut you down without your consent. Nobody will take you around and not let you be what you want to be. Nobody. Nobody has that control. You have complete control of your life. It doesn't matter how hard things hit you. You have the complete control. If you define me, then that means I have no mission. I must define myself. So, what do you think of the next 10 years for yourself? I mean, things will be the same, right? The sun will go down. Dark will always follow light. There'll be winter, then there'll be springs. But if this is what life is all about, then the only way it gets better is when? I'll tell you when. The only way things get better is when you get better. Better is not something you wish for. Better is not something you pray for. Better is something you become. That's what it is. If you're looking for equities unmatched, don't curse the only things you have, the seed, the soil, the sunshine, the rains, the miracles, the seasons, everything else that you've been given. Start changing, processing, evaluating the things in a new way. Here's a powerful way that you can change and grow. Cultivate your self-reliance and make those changes. Take responsibility for your own life. Take responsibility for whatever happens to you. Know that what's happening is a direct result of what you did yesterday. Self-reliance means counting on yourself, but not being prepared. You make a choice of getting caught, and sometimes in some of life's unpleasant circumstances. So those things will happen to you. The rain, the failures, economic losses, relationship losses, professional losses, personal losses. It'll all happen. You see, you can't control what others do around you. But it's in your best enlightened interest, self-interest, to stay on top of things and have control of that. You can't change circumstances. Just remember that. The sin, the things that have happened, the seasons, the wind, the constellations. Just no control of that. But you can change your habits. You can change your skills. You can become self-reliant. You can do that at any time you want. All life forms out there inherently strive towards their maximum potential, except humans. And all by choice. Humans have the capacity to do whatever they want, but they limit themselves. They say, that's as much as I can do. Not a tree. How tall will a tree be? As tall as it can be. It doesn't say after it grows a few feet, 5, 6, 7 feet, I'm going to stop right there. I think I've reached a good level. No. It keeps on growing continuously. The trunk, the branches, the leaves. And if the winter comes and it takes away all of its foliage, guess what? It doesn't worry because it knows next year it will grow it again. Nothing stops it. Human beings put that axe in front of them and say, if I go further, I'm going to cut myself. I'm going to hurt myself. Why? Why would you stop yourself? Reframing means taking the things that have happened and changing around them. Reframe what you think. It's a conscious experience in life. Again, it does not have to do with what happened, but what you think about what happened. What you believe is what happened. I heard from a mentor, which is one of my greatest mentors, and it's called the 4 Ifs of Life. He said that life is worthwhile if you learn. There are so many beautiful things in this world to learn. So many. So many things. So many books. So many people. So many videos, cassettes. I tell you, I'm impressed and humbled by the fact that thousands of subscribers to this channel will send me beautiful notes and say, I love what you said. I love what you read. I learned it myself. This isn't something I just invented. All the things that I know, I've learned from others, from books, from seminars, from people, from mentors, from family, from all the things in life, from experiences. So life is worthwhile if you learn. Here's the second if. Life is worthwhile if you try. You see, when your book of life is finished and the wins and the losses are all recorded, don't let it say that you didn't try. You don't want your book of life to say that. No way. Ever. Ever. You want your life to say you've tried and you've tried and you tried again. And what if you fall? Big deal. So you get up. The fall is not what matters, is how quickly you get up and what you do after you get up. That's what matters. I was teaching one of my daughters how to ride a bicycle. And she fell and she really hurt herself. She scraped her knees so bad. And I just thought maybe I should have put some knee guards, but I didn't. But you know what? She learned from it. And a moment later she said, I want to try again. And this time she did it. They were in 2 wheels straight. I mean, she was standing up straight and just going. That's what life is all about. Scrapes, they get healed and we go away. Here's the third if. Life is worthwhile if you stay. Sometimes you start a project, you do something, stay with it. Don't just walk away. Stick with it until it gets done. Don't just build here and do this and nothing gets done at the end of the day. Stay with your project. Here's the last fourth. Life is worthwhile if you care. If you care at all, you'll get some results. But if you care enough, you'll have magnificent results. That's what it is. So, the 4 ifs in life that are important. Life is worthwhile if you learn. Life is worthwhile if you try. Life is worthwhile if you stay. And life is worthwhile if you care. It makes a big difference. You'll get magnificent results if you care enough. The strength, however, that you get comes from flexibility, being able to understand what's going on in life and the ability to change some things. Remember, it's about reframing, changing the outlook, changing the way you think about what happened. It means learning what we can control and what is above our control. It requires self-knowledge and iron self-control, like a master of the martial arts who knows what to do and knows how to do it. Not weak, but self-discipline. Flexibility requires a cool head and appraising eyes, poise, balance, judgment, graceful change. It requires you to take those steps. There are fundamentals in life that we have to remember. Whether you're a believer or not is not what this is all about. I'm a believer, but I'm not asking you to be. But you have to know that you've been created in the image of God. That's one of the fundamentals of life. Another fundamental that you have to realize is that God, the creator of this world, wants you to succeed. He did not put you on earth just to waste time and make this world of his so beautiful a mess. That's not what it's all about. You were created with power, knowledge, understanding, and potential. Your life is all about to developing it and making it worthwhile. The third is that you must live a full life at all times. You're required to. You don't have to, but you should. You don't want to live and then live life and come up to one day and say, I wish I would have, I wish I could have, I wish I should have. No. You want to be able to say, I am doing everything I can. Not only am I enjoying my life, but I'm making changes that are phenomenal. Number 4 is that you must maximize your potential. Everything that you've got to do it with the best of what you've got. It was given to you. Last but not least in the fundamentals of life is that you have to do it with joy, true joy. And you have to do it with a equanimity in your heart. Equanimity means knowing that things are at peace between your mind and your heart, that you know where you are. You have to accept responsibility because habits, even those that are not good, sometimes they can't be changed, but they can be transformed and they can be replaced. Happiness, you see, is not an accident. Happiness is an art. You must be happy with what you have in pursuit of what you want. And you have to ask yourself, what inspires you? What motivates you? What turns you on? What makes you go in the morning? On the things that you want, where are they? And where do you go with that? Life is about making that distinction. Because success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. That's where it'll come. And you say, well, how can I change that? Well, if you will change, then everything will change for you. Those things will have to happen. You don't have to change what's outside at all. Not even possible, by the way. All you have to change is what's inside. That's where the difference becomes. That's when the things can happen. To have more, you have to become more. You have to make that difference, and you have to know that you'll make that difference. There's two things to consider if you want in life. Best ways to illustrate it is life and business are like the changing seasons. That's what it is. If you compare the both, you have to know that. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. That will make that difference in your life. And that will make a difference that you'll be able to relate to. Something that you'll be able to make that leap of faith into the person that you want to become. And you have that potential. So, reframing doesn't have to do with what happened, but what you thought about what happened and the things that you could do to improve that. Reframe your life. Wherever you are today in your life, whatever it is that you're doing, stop it and say, I'm going to change it. And make the changes. I have dozens of videos, podcasts, and all kinds of lectures you can listen to and learn how to do those things step at a time. Using whatever you think is appropriate. But make it happen because it's worthwhile. And it's worthwhile to you and to the rest of our world because you will impact somebody else's life, who will impact somebody else's life, who will impact somebody else's life. Thank you very much for listening. I wish you all the best. And I hope to hear good news above and beyond. And let's make it happen because it's all worth it and you deserve it. Thank you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell to get my latest update.